Yeah, hi all. So today we are going to discuss one of the part of a solid design pattern, that is open closed design pattern. This is basically one of the most important design patterns in a solid design pattern collection of this. So before going to the example part, or we start doing coding about discussing all those things, we just need to be discuss about the benefits of open closed design principles. So basically open closed design principles, as we earlier videos we have discussed about that, this is open for extension and closed for modification. So whenever we are designing any class, that class should always be open for extension and closed for modification. So how it will implement into a code, or what would be the benefit of that design principle, we will discuss all those things in this video. So let's just start. So one of the benefits of this design principle is whatever the applications we are going to be build are basically more robust. The first benefit is that by using that we can make it more robust, so that uh, whatever the changes we are doing, that particular class, only that particular part we need to be tested. Because if we are going to be changed into a class where it is not impacting any other class behavior, then only that particular class behavior or that particular class method we need to be retest again for production release or deployments. So the first benefit is that it will make our application more robust. And then the second is that by using this we can make it flexible, so that in future if any other functionality will be added, so that it will be easily flexible to accept that particular change to that application. That particular this particular benefit we can discuss with the when we are starting the coding, or we will discuss with the example of that. Then the third benefit is that it by using this we can make it uh, our application easy to test and less error prone. How it will easy to test? Because by using this, when we are doing any changes, it will not impacting the other existing classes as much, so the functionality remains same. In place of only the new functionality which we implemented or added need to be tested, so it is very less chances to break the older functionalities. So yeah, let's just start. So I have created one Java project too, as you can see over here, and given a name of open close principle. So if anyone knows knowing about that how we will create it, we will just go into file, go into new, and from here we can create a Java project and give the name of all those things. So we have created one Java project, and then we have created a package, and in that package we have created few classes. So let's see one by one. So firstly we have created one interface, that is tree group operations. Suppose there is any group company, I have given a name as T. So there is a T group, and we have defined as an interface where we haven't defined any method yet. I'll give you an example why we put it as empty in right now. So suppose this group has multiple subsidiaries like T chemical and T steel. So for all those subsidiaries we have created one class. For a T chemical company or subsidiary of a T group, we have created one and implement this. And in tsteel also we have created the same. So let's just create a constructor for here, because the constructor is not created yet. Okay, so as we can see that there are two subsidiaries of a T group, for which we have created a class, given a two variable, company name and business type, what kind of a business type it is doing. So as the name suggests that T chemical is dealing with the chemicals, and if we talk about the T steel, the T steel is doing business of steel manufacturing. Okay, so here are the two companies, and we have given one method, and that method will just give an example for that, what kind of operation it is doing, just printing a message. So here we can do the codings according to the subsidiaries, what all the business it is doing, whatever the business logic over here. So then after we have created one interface where we define there the one method actual business is doing, and we have given a pass a interface reference over here. Okay, and then we have created one class, and that class will implement this company business and give the body of do business. Here as you can see that in T group we are checking that is T group is an instance of T steel, then the T steel's two operations, this particular method we have called, or if T TG operation is an example of T chemical, then we have given a called a T operation. Now if we want to some day in future the T group open one more subsidy, so we have to create one more operation for that. Suppose now T group created a company for motors, so we have created a one T motors class, and this class is implementing T group, and as it is here we have given these two define these two variables, and also I'm just copying pasting to save the time. Okay, now to make a functionable this code we have to put a condition here, one more, else if. And we have to set it like if TG instance is an is an object of T motors. Then we have to call it whatever we have done over here, all these two steps. But the problem is that uh, as open close principle suggests that at any point of time any class should be extendable, open for extension and closed for modification. But here when we are adding this T motor class, or we would say the subsidiary of that particular T group, and created a class for that subsidiary, and we have to modify that particular business application class by putting else if check. So this is the problem. Suppose again there the T group operator again created one more subsidiary, then we have to create one more class for here, and again that particular class need to be modified again and again. So it will create a problem. We have to modify again and again for the such things. So to resolve such problems, what we have to do here, we have to define that method which we have defined over here. So now all these subsidiaries need to override this method, right? You can just annotate this method as override. And define this. Now what is the new change over here? In place of this all if else, we just need to add this. So now here in future, if this T group operation company added one more subsidiary, suppose now this time T group is dealing with the softwares or created an IT company, so TIT or a T software company, and we have to do the same way, define the variables, their businesses, and also we have to implement this T group operation and give a body of this two operations. And here, after doing such things, do we need to do any change over here? No. So this is an example of where we can do the extension and close for modification. So now here we don't need to do any modification where we have extended that functionality. right? So I hope you can understand this example. If we want to run it, we can make a main app and define a main method over here, and we just need to be create a tg sorry create the object of this class. Okay, and then after we have to sorry and pass the reference of tg group over here. At runtime, whichever class reference we are passing over here is that particular class method will be called. Yes, you can see that. So if we pass the object of t still, then the t still method will be called. So in that way we can add the functionality, and we cannot do any we don't need to do any modifications for operating this functionality. So that's it. This is an open course principle. It is a very important principle in a solid design pattern and many times asked in interview questions. Thank you for all.